Welcome to another episode of Sanford Says. My name is Lisa Holder, Chief Communications and Cultural Affairs Administrator for the City of Sanford. I have two special guests with me today. Monica Myles, she's the Public Affairs Specialist with the United States Small Business Administration, and Pamela Lynch. Pamela Lynch is our Economic Development Project Manager for the City of Sanford and also the Executive Director for the Sanford CRA, Community Redevelopment Agency. Welcome, ladies.
Good morning.
Thank you for having us.
These folks are here today to talk about a really important topic, the disaster loan program through the Small Business Administration. And Monica is actually, you're from out of town, correct? You've been here for a while.
Yes, I've been here for a few months.
Yeah, so we are happy that you're here in the city of Sanford, and we have some really important news to share. We have timelines that are now coming to an end, and we thought it would be important for the public who are able to take advantage of these programs through the Small Business Administration to hear this information. Pamela, you want to just share how the city is working with the SBA at this point,
Thank
or
you,
have
Lisa.
been?
Yes, thank you, Lisa. I would like to say that the City of Sanford has proudly been able to work with the U.S. Small Business Administration to house their operations over at the Sanford Information Center. They've been doing so for several months, and according to Ms. Myles, they will be wrapping up very soon, but they have been a pleasure to work with. I can tell you they've had a large draw of people from other cities, other areas. They've driven quite a distance to come to the city of Sanford to obtain assistance from the SBA, and it has been a pleasure working with them.
Yes, and this is January, New Year, 2023, the first episode of this year. Welcome, everybody. But we're talking about this because it's remnants of, unfortunately, the storms that we have had here in our area. Right, Monica?
Yes, and we want to make sure that the community is aware that tomorrow, January 12th, is the last day for people who were affected and people and businesses who were affected by Hurricane Ian with respect to property damage can file a application with the U.S. Small Business Administration for a loan as a result of their property damage.
Okay, so who really? And we're talking about, yes, this is Hurricane Ian. We're talking about this. It was a horrific weather event. But who's eligible to apply?
In Seminole County, any homeowner, renter, business, or most private nonprofit organizations can apply for an SBA loan as a result of property damage from Hurricane Ian.
When this is not new news. We have been sharing this information on our social media as well as I know the county's been sharing and pushing this information out. This is just a follow-up reminder using this podcast platform to share, to get more people aware of this critical, important need that is being filled here with this loan program. And so how can people apply by tomorrow? A business or a person, how can they apply by tomorrow's deadline, which is the 12th of January, like you said?
Yes, they can apply online at the SBA's website, or they can go to a SBA Business Recovery Center or a FEMA Disaster Recovery Center.
Okay.
If I may, let me go ahead and provide the address, which in the city of Sanford, the Sanford Information Center is located at 230 East 1st Street, Sanford, Florida 32771, at the corner of Palmetto and 1st Street.
Yes. And so what's the website, Monica?
Yes, the website. Well, first, the SBA does encourage people to register with FEMA first if they have not already done so. And they can register with FEMA, and then they can apply at SBA at disaster. They can ask for the application at disaster customer service at sba.gov or at disaster@sba.gov.
Okay, great. Now, what types of loans are available? And this is only till tomorrow, is that right?
Okay, right. And for tomorrow's deadline only deals with respect to property damage.
Okay.
So, in property damage is if a person's primary residence was located in Seminole County or one of the other primary counties that the president declared with respect to Hurricane Ian. If their house, their condominium, their boathouse was damaged, they can apply as a result of that. And then also if their personal properties such as their clothing, their appliances, their furniture, if they had a vehicle that was damaged as well, that it, was not covered or fully covered by insurance or something of that nature, they can apply. And the SBA application would any kind of SBA loan that the person may qualify for only applies to what insurance or FEMA or some other resource has not covered.
Okay, and so speaking of that, what if an applicant hasn't received a settlement from their insurance company or they've not received a response from FEMA yet? What can they do?
They still should apply because they do have to apply by the deadline, which is tomorrow with respect to personal property.
Okay. Now you mean respect to personal property, but for businesses, is that extended the deadline? Is that correct?
Well, for businesses, with respect to personal property, it's also
Okay.
tomorrow. So for the businesses, that personal property would also include, any kind of property, personal property or the real estate would be the structure of the business, any other buildings or something of that nature connected to the business, their inventory, their equipment, things of that nature would also, if they wanted to submit an application for a loan, they would also need to do that by tomorrow. Now, businesses may also apply for what's called a economic injury loan, and that deadline is not until June 29th, 2023. So they still have time to do that.
All right, and there's more information about that on the website, obviously.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that gives the businesses a good amount of time to get to apply. And what are the terms of the loan, interest rate, like the length of the loan, and when would people's first payments be due?
Well, with respect to Hurricane Ian, for a homeowner or renter, the interest rate is as low as 2.188%. For a business, the interest rate is 3.04%. And then for a nonprofit, the interest rate is as low as 1.875%.
Okay, it sounds like good interest rates.
Right, excellent interest rates. And the SBA did announce in about mid-December that for all applicants who are approved for a loan during this time period, they do not have to pay their first payment until 1 year from the date that they signed their settlement documents. And then no interest will accrue for that first year period as well.
Well, that's a nice thing for the federal government to do.
Yes.
And what documents should people bring with them if they are coming, for instance, to these locations physically to apply for the loan?
Yes, they should just bring basic information regarding identifying themselves, showing that they are the owner of the property or they're leasing, renting an apartment or other building or something of that nature. If a vehicle is involved, that they're the owner of that. If they have pictures of the damage to the property, that would be helpful. If they have insurance documents or any kind of letter or documentation from FEMA, they can bring that. If they have their FEMA registration number, they can bring that as well.
Okay. And so this is probably a good question to ask. How does the SBA actually determine who qualifies for the loan?
Right, that is a process that the agency goes through. Once the applicant submits all the requested documentation, and the SBA will tell them what additional documents are needed for their specific application.
Okay.
And so once they submit all of that documentation, the SBA may or may not have someone to go out to the residence or the building to determine what is the amount of the physical loss of the property. And so that's pretty much how that process goes. And then a loan officer, after all the data is collected, the loan officer will let the applicant know whether or not they're approved for the loan and the amount.
Okay.
And
Yeah, so
Oh, one thing I just wanted to add about that, if the applicant doesn't want to accept the loan, they don't have to. There's, of course, no application fee or anything like that. And after they go through this process, if they don't want to accept the loan, they don't have to do
are there
so.
any prepayment penalties at all?
No, they can prepay whenever they
Okay.
want to.
All right, and so if a loan is denied, can they contest the decision?
Yes, they would receive a letter from the SBA letting them know why it was denied and letting them know that they have a period of 6 months from the date of the letter to request reconsideration. So why they think that the SBA came to an incorrect decision.
Okay.
A lot of loans that are denied, it's either for credit reasons or because the person didn't complete turn in all of the documents that
Yeah.
the SBA had requested. So if they're able to come up with that, then they
Yeah.
can resubmit it and ask for that reconsideration.
So I think what's really helpful is the fact that you are here physically. The office is, like you said, Pam, in the Sanford Information Center, because some people would like to talk to someone one-on-one when it comes to something like this, when you're navigating new waters, so to speak, with all this paperwork. And how long are you here? I know the deadline is tomorrow, but and the businesses have until the 29th of June. But are we going to have this resource at our Sanford Information Center for an extended period of time? I know you've been here for a while, right? You've been.
Yes, we've been at that particular center for since October.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I haven't received a date when it may close. I believe it's still going to be open for some additional period of time, but I do not have that information.
Right. We've kept that very flexible with
Okay.
the city of Sanford. We wanted to let them know that our doors are always open for them, and so we'll let them continue as long as they need to.
Right, so you actually have an office in that space, in that building downtown Sanford, in the heart of Sanford, and for people to come down and centrally located and take care of all this important paperwork. So are there any other deadlines to apply for a loan as a result of Hurricane Ian?
Just that June 29th, 2023 deadline for the businesses or the nonprofits who want to apply for economic injury loan. And that's when, due to the hurricane, they have had to close their business for a while, didn't receive the income they expected to receive, can't make payroll, things of that nature, can't pay their regular
Yeah.
business bills, where they want to try to apply for a loan for that.
And up to how much money have you seen approved loans at this point yet?
Yes,
Monica?
the SBA has approved near about $1.4 billion in loans in the state of Florida
Oh my
since
God, that's a
October.
Wow.
big number. A
Mhm.
lot of need out there,
Yes,
right?
yes. And most of those are for the homeowners and the renters.
Yeah.
Not the businesses. I think it's something like about at least 1.2 billion of it, I believe is the figure.
Yeah.
So although we're called the Small Business Administration, with respect to disaster loans, the homeowners and the
Yes.
renters.
Now, has this disaster loan program, always been in place with the SBA, or is it something
Yes.
that they put together for the result of Hurricane Ian?
No, this is always.
So you
been
go
in
around the
place for
country
long-term.
for all kinds of disasters, yes?
Yes.
Not just
Yes.
hurricanes, right?
That's correct. Hmm.
Okay. So can homeowners or renters and businesses and nonprofits apply for the disaster loan for property that's located in Seminole County as a result of, was it a hurricane? Hurricane Nicole? Did she ever make it to hurricane? I
Right,
thought it was a
right.
tropical storm, but
Right. Well,
Nicole?
with any of our disaster centers, if you had property damage or you had some kind of injury as a result of some incident that was declared a disaster by the president, say in California or Maine or wherever, and you happen to be at the Sanford Information Center, you could apply there for that as well.
interesting. We get a lot of tourists here, right, Pam? You never
Right.
know.
Right.
We are a destination city. Okay. That's good to know. And so when is the deadline to apply for the economic injury loan? You did say as a result of Hurricane Nicole. Is that the same date, June 29th?
Okay, yeah, for Hurricane Nicole, the economic injury deadline date is September 13th, 2023.
Okay.
And because Seminole County luckily did not sustain as much damage as some other counties, with respect to Nicole, the only applicants that are eligible for applying for a SBA loan in Seminole County are the businesses and the nonprofits.
Okay.
Not homeowners or renters.
All right. And so this is the question we have to ask, what Mike, I feel for these people. What if an applicant had damages to both Hurricane Ian and Hurricane Nicole? Can they file separate requests or applications for loans?
Yes, they would file separate requests. They can do it at the same time.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's some really good information. Is there anything else that you'd like to say, Monica, about this loan program?
Yes.
Last words.
Well,
if you'd
with
like to say.
respect to, just want to give the people some contact information again for FEMA. They can call FEMA at 1-800-621-FEMA, which is 3362 at the end, so 1-800-621-3362.
Okay.
They can also register at FEMA at www.disasterassistance.gov.
Okay.
And then with respect to the SBA, they can call the SBA at 1-800-659-2955. And they can obtain the online application if they want to do that at www.disasterloanassistance.sba.gov/ELA.
All right. Now,
Okay.
so can you upload documents straight from like a cell phone to do this? Like, or you better sit at a desktop to do stuff like this, do you think?
For me, a desktop.
Okay.
But I've seen people do it via phone.
Okay.
Some people are really proficient.
Tech
at that.
savvy, yes. Okay, because I was just wondering in case, because not everybody has a desktop at home anymore, and so that's where coming into the offices could help, because you can actually use a pen, right, and fill out hard copies. Or no?
I've just seen for hard copies. I've just seen it where they can give some paperwork to people
And
to
then-
fill in some information, but they still go on the computer.
Okay, got you.
Mhm.
Okay, all right. Pamela, any last words? Our economic development project manager for the city of Sanford.
We just want to say that we are proud to have continued to work with the U.S. Small Business Administration, and we will be there whenever you need to come and need a place to be housed.
Right, and the SBA is very thankful for Sanford's assistance in this matter. It was one of our first business recovery centers, and although it's called Business Recovery Center, anybody is invited to come, the homeowners, the renters.
All right, there you
everybody.
have it. What a great way to end this episode. Yes, come to if you need it. Tomorrow's the deadline. Business Recovery Center for the Small Business Administration, located at the Sanford Information Center in downtown Sanford, Florida. This is Lisa Holder, Chief Communications and Cultural Affairs Administrator for the City of Sanford. Thank you for listening to this episode. You can subscribe to our podcast wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, and on the city website at sanfordfl.gov. Thank you. Happy 2023, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.